Today, I'm going to give you 3 keys for Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens to pull off an upset. It's not Christmas yet, but we have already gotten the best gift that any football nerd could ask for, an absolute banger of a matchup on Christmas between the San Francisco 49ers and the Baltimore Ravens. Now, even though the Ravens are currently the number 1 seed in the AFC, the Niners are still favored by over 5 points at home, and I gotta say, I think that's right. I mean, don't get me wrong, Baltimore is very good, but this San Francisco offense is like historically good. Just to rattle off some of their rankings: points per game, first; yards per play, first; QBR, first; red zone, first; EPA per play, first; points per drive, first. They're the best at everything. And on top of that, they also have a really good defense, which is why ahead of this game, my approach is to try to find the thermal exhaust port in the Death Star that is this San Francisco 49ers team. So, my first key is going to make me sound like an old football guy, but I mean it. The Baltimore Ravens need to run the ball and break tackles, particularly inside, where this San Francisco 49ers defense has struggled. We just saw them give up over 200 yards on the ground to Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals, but it's been an issue for this unit all year. On inside runs, they actually rank 29th in EPA per play. When they face runs using motion, they are 31st in EPA per play. And here's one that really shocked me because I think of this Niners defense as being such a good tackling unit, but that has not been the case this season. In fact, since week 8, they are dead last in the NFL in yards after contact given up to opposing running backs, which brings me, of course, to this Baltimore Ravens team, which is the best rushing team in the NFL and ranks first in the league on yards after contact. They are second in EPA per play inside the tackles, which, as I mentioned, is a Niners weakness. And they use a fair amount of motion, the 7th highest rate in the NFL on running plays to displace defenders. Now, it should be noted, they just lost Keaton Mitchell, their rookie running back, who was so explosive and exciting. But I really think the combination of Lamar Jackson, Gus Edwards, and Justice Hill can do enough to string together long drives on the ground against the San Francisco 49ers defense that has struggled to stop them all year. So my second key applies to the Ravens' passing attack. And there's 2 things that I think they need to do in this game. 1, extend plays. 2, get rid of the ball quickly outside the numbers. So the Niners pass defense is much better than the run defense, but there are a couple of areas where they're a little bit weaker. And one is when quarterbacks take over 4 seconds to throw. They are 21st in QBR in those situations, scramble drills often. Unsurprisingly, Lamar Jackson is a top 4 quarterback in those situations. We just saw that against the Jacksonville Jaguars when he turned what seemed to be a surefire sack into a incredibly unlikely and yet somehow totally predictable because of Lamar Jackson completion to Isaiah Likely. So he's going to need to do something similar, I believe, against this 49ers defense. Now, when Lamar Jackson wants to get rid of the ball quickly in under 3 seconds, there is an area where the Niners defense has struggled, and that's on quick throws outside the numbers. They are actually 27th in opponent QBR on those throws. And that's where another Ravens skill player who's very exciting comes in, Zay Flowers, who has really, I think, become the wide receiver 1 in this offense. Opposing defenses actually give him more cushion than any receiver in the NFL right now. And that's not just from the slot, that's outside as well. Lamar loves to just pepper him with quick hitches. He's really good on screens. I think both of those things will be significant and important against the Niners defense that actually has not had the easiest time against that this year. My final key comes on the other side of the ball, and it's this. I think the Ravens should disguise their coverage. So first, I want to start by saying it is really hard to find weaknesses in this Niners offense. They are good at just about everything. Now, if you looked at the first half of the season, you could find some weaknesses. Brock Purdy wasn't as good on 3rd down when they were trailing, which is very often. When he was under pressure, that's kind of all gone out the window. If you narrow your splits to since week 8, he has been unbelievable in those situations. The Niners offense has been basically unstoppable in just about every possible situation. However, against disguised coverage, meaning when defenses present one look and then post-snap switch to another, Brock Purdy actually not great. Since week 8 against disguised coverage, Purdy has been 22nd in success rate and 20th in EPA per play. That's something the Ravens can do that they have done against quarterbacks like Joe Burrow very well in the past, because this is an extremely talented and well coached secondary, and they're going to have to be against this offense. I would throw in one more thing, which is tackle. The Niners offense is unbelievably difficult to bring down to the ground. Their yards after catch easily lead the league, but the Ravens defense also leads the league in limiting yards after catch. They play a lot of zone. They limit what receivers can do with the ball in their hands. That's been the formula all year. It is going to be an uphill battle. I do not want to couch these keys as being things that can be easily achieved on either side of the ball. But the Ravens have a very good defensive coordinator, probably a future head coach in Mike McDonald, and a quarterback in Lamar Jackson, who is known to put on his cape and be a superhero from time to time.